Hey guys, this is Krista from the Moratorium. Do you like grisly gore and mysteries? Of course you do. That is why I suggest you subscribe to my blog, Suspended Animation, Dormant Stories Waiting to be Told, where we at the Moratorium offer a number of lurid tales from axemen running around New Orleans to phantoms in Texarkana. And if you're feeling especially generous, head over to our Patreon, where for just a couple bucks a month, you can help the Moratorium grow. And that would be pretty kick-ass. And remember, long live VHS.
So guys, here's the deal with today's movie. You take a low-rent, high-class New York apartment, throw in some extra creepy tenants, some of which are quite voyeuristic, mix in the Catholic Church, a pedophilic mustache, and a model who's being groomed for the job of her life. And what do you get? You get a satanic panic over who left the damn gate to hell open. Cue the music. And in 3, 2, 1, I already forgot it.
You will be soon as big as a giant, or like all the others, dead.
You think I imagined all of it, don't you? You think I'm insane?
That's feng shui.
A match made in a bathroom, just floating into the void. Yeah, Tubi has a movie that I really want to watch.
Yeah, not this one.
And I got on their website. Not this one. Although, God, this one is batshit crazy.
It is. And had I known really what I got us into when I chose this movie.
Yeah. Oh, I've got like 30 tabs open just because of all the old character actors.
It is crammed full of old faces. I've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So we're watching The Sentinel.
The Sentinel.
Did you choose this because maybe we were talking about Sentinels and Phantasm? Or
maybe. That was probably you planting that seed into my brain, saying that we weren't going to call them balls. We got to call them Sentinels.
Yep. I came over, cracked your skull open, put a seed in there. It was a sesame seed.
You want to say balls. You want to say balls.
Oh, man. There's not any balls in this movie, but there are a lot of nipples, I've found out. I think I even see John Carradine's nipples at some point.
Yeah. You get to see a lot of many of these characters.
Oh, Lord. The infamous scene. Would you call it infamous? Do you think a lot of people know about it?
I don't know. They will after this.
Or they don't want to talk about it? Yeah.
Which... There was another cut of this for like TV, and can you imagine how much they had to cut out of this movie?
For sure. I mean, like, this is the only version I've ever seen, but it feels like a made-for-TV movie. Yes. You know what I mean? It feels like made-for-TV Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, until you see nipples.
Yeah.
And does anybody wear a bra in this film?
No, thank God, no.
This movie's all over the place. I dig it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm also drinking a cup of coffee here. It is spiked because it's nearly noon on Sunday. So
I have drank so much coffee, like, if you need any paint mixed or anything, just put it in my hand and it'll just kind of vibrate.
I've been trying to click on Sylvia Miles's picture forever. My hand won't stop shaking. Yeah.
Use both hands on your mouse.
It almost hurts to listen to her talk.
So all of these people are New York actors.
Okay.
And they are all, of like Russian descent. I've really been like digging into these old like character actors.
Okay.
John Carradine, he has like 345 credits. He is in every. Well, you can't really say he is in this movie, but not. He's just the. I mean, you could have just like propped up a mannequin or like a bag of sticks or something for as much as he does in this movie. But everyone has like a doppelganger. Have you noticed that or not? it's like they hired two of everybody.
I got confused in the middle of, okay, wait a minute. Who is this now? Is this somebody new? Is this somebody... Did we see it in a flashback?
Right. At one point, Eli Wallach, who plays a cop, walks up to a window, and I was like, oh, Martin Balsam. And then he turned, and I was like, oh, holy shit. I mean, they look... So there's Martin Balsam and Eli Wallach, John Carradine and Fred Struthman, who is her dad.
Okay, right.
I think you only see him in flashbacks. Really weird, surreal flashbacks.
They say that he died of cancer. So, he wanders through the set with some prosthetic on his face and his chest.
Looked like they threw some dirt on him.
She stabs him a couple of times.
Cuts his nose off in the most unnatural, how, I don't know how how she was gripping the knife.
I think it slipped out of her hand. I'm not sure.
It's like she had the blade in one hand and the handle in the other, and just kind of like a cheese grater on his face. Oh my God. Yeah. But anyway, so, and then Chris Sarandon and Jeff Goldblum, interchangeable pretty much. I mean, it's like a disaster movie, kind of, like when there's just guest stars. Yeah. Really, it's like The Love Boat. I bet you money. I bet you $5 everybody in this movie has been on Love Boat at some point.
All right.
I'll do some research.
Somebody prove us wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Come at us.
Christopher Walken is so young. I laughed when I saw him. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. He's young.
And he's just like smacking gum and kind of giving a kind of snarky look every time you see him.
And Beverly D'Angelo looks the same.
Yeah, exactly the same.
As she has for years. She did not change.
I love her. Except for a couple of 80s movies. I Know This and the Vacation movies.
But according to this movie, she'll love you back for $10, it looks like.
That is...
What did they say? What do you do for a living? We fondle each other? I'm pretty sure that was a line in the film.
It was. I just got through that part. I watched it again. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I watched that 2 or 3 times, but still.
Okay.
I can't imagine where her head must have been to, get into that character. So weird.
On the Coke mirror is where her head was.
I think whenever we have questions about, especially 70s movies, drugs is probably the answer.
Yeah.
So you wanna just crack into this thing?
Welcome to the moratorium.
You scared me when you did that.
I'm Tim Kornman. Scared you?
You did. I jumped.
Scared.
You said that right when the black and white cat was jumping into Chris Sarandon's arms.
Yeah.
It almost looks like they filmed that in reverse.
I know it looked really strange, but they did things to this cat. I'm pretty sure that a cat had a string tied to his tail as they were pulling it, making it.
All cats and all birds were harmed during the making of this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, with me as always is...
I'm Jason Walker.
Jason Walker.
Hi. Sorry. I'm just excited.
Excited about this film?
Yeah.
This is an all-star cast.
Yes.
Of
just
older movie actors.
Yep.
But this is, 1977.
Yeah, this is prime time.
Chris Sarandon, I got a lot to talk about him too.
He looks like he's just going to do some light pedophiling while the movie's going.
His character is so sketchy as well.
Yeah.
We'll have to get into that because some of the background that they throw at him when Eli Wallach comes up to him and starts accusing him of killing his wife.
That was wild.
Bizarre.
I was like, Eli, you are way out of line. You can't even really... This movie does not have a plot, really, to speak of.
What I think may have been made up on the set.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep.
All right, we got to give this guy some background. But this was written from a book.
Okay, I did not know that.
Had you read this book before?
No, I didn't know that.
I guess not. Yes, it was a novel by Jeffrey Konvitz, I don't know, who also produced Spy Hard. Let me just say that. Let me get that.
Okay. I'd accuse you of lying, but that's too weird for you to make up.
But anyway, no, I guess that the writer, Jeffrey Konvitz, did not get along with Michael Winner at all.
Well, and Michael Winner is credited for the screenplay. So I think that's probably...
So he just kind of took his own, liberties with the film?
Yes, exactly. Which, I mean, this movie is basically a Rosemary's Baby ripoff. Can we just say that? I mean...
Right out in front.
Yeah. It also has some elements of some of those other kind of devil movies from around the same time. But then the years are kind of interesting because so this came out in 1977. Just for reference, The Shining was 1980.
Okay.
Rosemary's Baby was 1968. So it was almost 10 years before that. So and I think that 1977 Exorcist was 1973. So this was just deep in the devil.
Deep in the devil.
Deep in the devil. Speaking of, why was George Kennedy not in this? There's other people like Jose Ferrer who are I mean, I guess he's a character actor too, but he's just so, adds some Exorcist kind of gravitas to it. Yeah. Otherwise kind of goofy movie. I mean, it's not goofy. It's just not scary. It's very surreal.
There you go.
Kind of dreamlike.
Man, Burgess Meredith, he was really getting around in this film, too. He looked very uppity.
Yeah, sure. You mean full of energy and...
Yeah, he was 70 when this came out, So that's just wild.
If you had to look at pictures of him and guess his age, I feel like you would always be wrong.
I swear that he looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
He's always been this age. He's always been 70.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah. We watched Dead and Buried yesterday, and oh my gosh, I forgot his name. The guy played Grandpa in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's kind of the one of the main characters. He's like the coroner, I guess, for that little town. That's a good movie. Not to get off topic, but I really like that movie.
Anyway, well, let's get into this film because I got a lot to talk about. And this movie may start off, and maybe it's a little slow burn.
It is. It is a little boring at the beginning. I found myself fast forwarding a little bit.
Once it gets started, it just continues to be a little bit more wacky.
Wacky.
Went out on a limb here.
Yeah.
Not as funny wacky as in Lunatic Asylum.
Yes.
Wacky.
It's written and directed by Michael Winner, who did Death Wish.
Yes.
I mean, he's had other big movies, but this is his one and only horror movie, I think.
If you look up there, he did 1984. He did a movie called Scream for Help.
Yeah. Okay. That one. Yeah. I think that one's the only one that kind of comes close to horror.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I watched the trailer for it earlier and it looks a little silly.
Mm-hmm.
But it is written by Tom Holland.
Oh, wow.
We can't stop bringing him up.
He's getting a lot of stuff done in the 70s and 80s.
But I think we brought it up before because Antonio Cantafora was in...
I love the way you say that.
Antonio Cantafora. And what was he in that we just watched just the other day?
Oh my God. One of the several Italian movies that we've covered.
Demons 2. He was Ingrid's father in Demons 2.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Gotcha. I know who you're talking about. Antonio.
So it's just another one I might have to venture down sometime just to see how bad it is. But see also how kind of weird Michael Winner is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is very sleazy, I guess, would be the best way to do it.
Yep.
This is very, kind of salacious and sleazy. It's like the sleazy version of Rosemary's Baby.
I'll buy that because actually, if you start looking into some of Michael Winner's trivia and shit, there's maybe a little bit of sleazy shit going on.
Yeah, for sure. I saw Harvey Weinstein pop up more than once in his trivia, so I don't think I read the whole paragraph, but it's like, I get it. I know where you're going with this. Yeah, a lot of settled out of court,
So we open this movie, is this supposed to be Italy?
Yes. I mean, and again, it's like a little bit of Exorcist to give, I mean, that, like, the quote-unquote plot, I mean, all you're getting is just this little scene at the very beginning, which doesn't even really, I mean, they're kind of ripping off the Omen, too, I guess.
Yeah. There's a prophecy that, must be fulfilled, and
So they're just taking a lot of that crap and just not really fleshing it out, just kind of, here's some old guys in, robes.
So if you think the Italians would have made this film, would have been better?
Oh.
Just as sleazy, maybe more?
Maybe more. Everybody's dubbed. Everybody in this is dubbed.
Well,
did you notice, like, Jeff Goldblum, I mean, it's almost like...
that is in the trivia.
Laughable.
It says that all but like one line of Jeff Goldblum was dubbed in.
Really? Because it shows for sure. Like it's like an old kung fu movie at a couple of points. Yeah, and again, he and Chris Sarandon are interchangeable. Like, they could be just, Chris isn't here today, put the mustache on and get out here. We got some stuff to work through.
We go into this chick's life as being a model.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Jeff Goldblum behind the camera, you think sleazy as well. It's just
so sleazy.
Chris Sarandon does still seem like he's a little older than the character he's dating. And we get a little background on him later through a little bit of exposition that was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You could have opened with that and had my attention, Right. But maybe they wanted to seem like Chris Sarandon wasn't as evil. He had underlying evil. I don't know.
He handles the murder investigation very well. He is not rattled by that at all. But he is a lawyer, so I guess, I mean, all of that plot stuff doesn't go anywhere, really. Mm-mm. I mean, you know what I mean? It doesn't really figure into anything. And in Rosemary's Baby, when you see that Nick Cassavetes or John Cassavetes might be kind of in on it, when you start getting that feeling, it's just handled so much better and kind of adds to the overall dread. And this is just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do like I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry. There's a scene, and the reason I was kind of comparing it to The Shining is there's a scene early on in this movie with her father that is a flashback that is very off-putting. I mean, it's no, like, furry blowjob or whatever was happening in The Shining, but it's close. You know what I mean? Here's what I don't want to see. A naked 70-year-old man being fed cake in some kind of weird sex room.
I was trying to get to that scene. I don't know if
I'm sorry if I blew it, but I just, there's a couple of things in here that I feel like I'm going to have therapy for. I mean, I guess that's what we're doing now.
This is therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Is this supposed to happen when she was younger?
Yes, because she sees herself. I did like that shot.
She does look like she's in a schoolgirl outfit, but why is she still not wearing a bra?
Fucking 70s. Gotta love it.
Upon going home and seeing her father having a threesome with two women and a cake.
Yeah, it's a foursome, really. The cake is
being molested.
Yes, exactly. She's like, Dad, that's my birthday cake. Right. He's like, Yarr!
I blew out your candles. Actually, she blew out your candles. You want to see your candles?
No.
But he slaps her like three times.
Slaps her a lot.
It's hilarious that he kind of winds up and she takes it.
Yeah, a slap from him is probably like...
It was very telegraphed.
Yes. And probably had the force of like, throwing a wad of like toilet paper at her or something.
Right. A loaf of bread.
Perhaps. The raw, like, brute strength of an old man. What did I say his name was? Struthman? Frank Struthman? I've never heard of that. Oh, Fred Struthman. Might as well talk about him now, because that was his big scene, but he'll show up again later to get his nose shaved off, but he is like was like a Svengoolie type late night horror movie host in the 50s? Question mark?
Interesting. All right.
60s. Says 1963 to 65. He was Jeepers' keeper in the Jeepers Creepers Theater.
That sounded like a riddle.
Yeah, it sounded like what you like exercises they give people for stuttering or something.
Yes.
We might need to do a deep dive on late night horror hosts one of these days, because there's so many of them, and they're so beloved to whatever city, that they are from. That was in California.
Okay.
Channel 13, Los Angeles in the 60s. That's just fun stuff. I mean, don't think about him naked while you're watching these old...
That scene where she walked in on her father, though.
I'm watching it right now.
You're watching it again. You backed it up.
I did.
That was all just to set up that she tried to commit suicide.
Right.
So she walks in on her dad. He slaps her around. She immediately goes to the bathroom, grabs a razor blade, and cuts her wrists.
I feel like she's been building up to this, and that was just the, you know.
But I think they say later that she tried twice to commit suicide.
She's just not very good at it.
But that is also now an integral part into the story that doesn't get brought up until near the end of the film.
Yeah, so she's already troubled, before anything weird really starts to happen. Besides the fact that she has those super realistic,
boobs.
It's not like that was a nightmare.
Her psychotic breaks are very realistic.
Yeah, when she like headbutts that pane of glass at the wine commercial. Oh my god, I just saw her. Okay, so I still am watching this at like 1.5 times speed, and the first time she passes out is like a fucking pratfall from like like a fucking Charlie Chaplin movie or something. Man, she really hits the floor on that one.
She is dating Chris Sarandon. They're living together.
Yes. Fiancés? Are they engaged even?
I think so. But she says she wants to get her own apartment.
Right.
He's supporting of this, but also kind of questioning, like, well, let's just go ahead and just get married.
Right.
And she's like, I'm not quite ready yet. She wants her own place.
Yeah.
Now, knowing of her background and where the end of this movie is going to evolve to.
Yeah.
Were there people setting her up and steering her towards this decision?
I mean, she does get a good deal. She's renting a gigantic, like, brownstone apartment for $400 a month.
Yeah, which has, like, 16-foot vaulted ceiling.
Yeah. I don't know what prices were. I mean, like, and this is New York, isn't it? I assume. I mean, that seems like a deal. But anyway, that, like, people kind of guiding her. What's the real estate lady's name with the big hat?
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, she looks just like Sylvia Miles. It's Ava Gardner. And she looks a lot like Sylvia Miles. There's like two of them. They really were like hedging their bets. They're like, okay, bring everybody in.
I got confused about that as well. I really did. They even have almost the same tone in their voice.
Yes. They definitely read for both parts, and then they...
Or like, you're too gravelly, but not gravelly enough.
Here's a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're Lucky Strikes. Every break and lunch, you need to be smoking these. I did appreciate there isn't a lot of smoking in here. Being a former smoker, and I mean, especially these 70s movies are like, God, isn't that getting in your eyes? Mm-hmm. Doesn't that hurt to just have that dangling out of your mouth the entire time?
Freaking Eli Wallach has a cigar through most of the film.
Oh my God.
And he's pulling it out of that little plastic wrapper like, oh man, I spent 28 cents on this baby. It's going to be the best thing ever.
It's like he's just going to eat it like a chocolate bar.
He does, kind of. He sticks it in his mouth. He's just chewing on it.
Well, he's used to doing those Westerns where, you got to keep that thing in there for hours, I would assume.
Oh, disgusting.
Clint Eastwood just had that thing, like, glued to his lip so it wouldn't come out. Her and Chris Sarandon together did feel very, like, kind of real and natural. Yeah. Chris Sarandon's just a charming guy. I like him.
He's looking very thin in this movie.
Yeah, real thin.
Almost disproportionate to his head. His head.
Yes.
It makes his head look bigger, and that mustache is just.
Oh man, it's doing a lot of work. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting up there.
I just saw her pass out too, and yeah, she did hit the ground pretty hard.
Really, just like slammed her head on the floor.
And then immediately you see her changing clothes.
I think I'm fine now.
And she's wearing a bra finally.
Like, okay, we're gonna give you one bra.
Yep.
You can only wear it in this scene. Yep. Sylvia Miles was in the Funhouse.
I want to talk about that. Oh, I was getting there. She played Madame Xena in the Funhouse.
Yeah.
And she was the one to give our monster in the Funhouse. She's giving him a hand job.
Oh, that's her?
That's her.
Oh my God. That it's having seen this movie now, I'm like, yep, I get it. I just don't know that actress very well.
When William Hickey shows up later.
Oh. My God. Was he born with a shitty toupee, do you think? Or is that cannot be his hair. Cannot be his hair. He still has that voice, even though he's younger, and it fucking cracks me up.
I've only really known him in older type horror movies, and
yeah.
And he's always been almost an invalid, He's just in a wheelchair. He's been in a wheelchair in many of his roles.
Right. Very rarely does he walk across, do any blocking or anything.
But in this, he's a hired lockpick.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good character for him. I actually believe that. Also, he was in Christmas Vacation with Beverly D'Angelo.
Yep.
When the fucking squirrel blew up or whatever.
The blessing.
Oh
Say
God.
The blessing.
I really do love him though. Oh my God. I got it at like 1.5 speed, and the lady in the like wicker chair. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm already at like Jezebel's birthday party, so
wow.
I need to back it up a little bit.
Maybe you should stop watching it at 1.5 speed so I can keep up with you.
Yeah, I'm going to fix that right now. Although Beverly D'Angelo's her scene is hilarious at 1.5 speed. You're going to need to
watch it a few times.
Yep.
Hey, you want to take a quick break?
Sure.
Hey, freaksters and freakettes. It's Tim from the Moratorium. Do you like the sweet sounds of our witty banter in your ears every week? Well, head on over to our Patreon, and for only $3 a month, you can get even more. In the director's cuts of our movie episodes. On average, that's 20 minutes more of our wisecracking, jive-talking, and lip-flapping laughter straight to your earholes. Go to themoratorium.com and click on our Patreon link, and you'll find 5 awesome tiers with tons of goodies. You can also find our Teespring link on the website for even more awesome merch. Thank you for your support. Now on with the show. Okay.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about Chris Sarandon's mustache, probably. Yeah. We see a glimpse of this from the beginning. So the priest has this ring.
Who is Jose Ferrer, right? Or is this
right? I don't know. They're all, like you said, they're interchangeable.
Yes. Although Jose Ferrer is, and I think it's because Miguel Ferrer looks and kind of sounds like him that I love him so much, but I love his voice. When Chris Sarandon and her are like walking around, it looks like they're getting ready to run into Schneider from One Day at a Time. Yeah. It could happen at any moment.
Hey, I fixed your pipes, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I just watched a scene where, so our girl Allison is moved into this weird old apartment complex.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I think I got kind of sidetracked, but Ava Gardner is showing her around. She's like the realtor lady. Mm-hmm. And it's already furnished. It's gigantic. And she said at first that it was $500 or $550 a month. And then she drops the price. And I don't know if there's a musical sting or something, but you're like, okay, that means something. She's really like got something up her sleeve.
You almost expect to hear another John Carpenter. Bling!
Yeah, exactly.
A gleam in her eye as she turns. Yeah.
Yep. They both just stare at each other.
Everybody is very super suspicious in this film.
Yeah. Everybody's doing something, but it doesn't amount to anything. I mean, I guess like, Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby, I hate that, but like, if you keep comparing this to Rosemary's Baby, it's just like, this is just a B movie, really, which is fine. That guy that is standing next to Jeff Goldblum at that first photo shoot, with the dogs and the horse and stuff. And then, that's like ominous too, because the horses are freaking out and the dogs are running around.
Right.
Which is kind of, exorcisty or omany.
Except for those dogs are not very
threatening. They're they're definitely not Rottweilers. The rest of the cast, if you scroll down that far, even that's insane. Richard Dreyfuss is uncredited as just a man on the sidewalk.
And that said it at 7 minutes you can see him, and I totally missed it. I'm going to back it up just so I can find him.
At that photo shoot, like Jeff Goldblum's assistant or something is William Bogert, which for a minute I thought he was the guy from Extra. What's the guy who's married to Throw Mama from the Train?
Ramsey.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was not Extra. That was Beast Within.
Right. And is beating his meat. I mean, I guess these people were still kind of up and coming, I guess, except for these like...
We got old and new put together.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss was there when she's walking with her friend to go look at apartments. They go out on the street, and then you see an ominous priest come up behind her as he's been following her, and you see that ring again on his finger. Richard Dreyfuss is right there on the sidewalk talking to a chick. He's like all sexily slumped up to her. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great time for those guys. You know what I mean? Even Richard Dreyfuss can get laid.
In one of these films.
Arthur Kennedy is the priest that's kind of following her around with like the pom-pom on his head, right? Am I right?
Sure. Are you wrong? Can't prove it. Is there anything to Burgess Meredith naming his cat Jezebel?
I don't know. And then also the cat is... That chick says black and white cat, black and white cake?
She brings that up later when she's reminiscing, or she's trying to tell Chris Sarandon that there are people in her apartment building that shouldn't be there.
See, that's creepy.
She repeats that. When she goes up and they look in that room and it's all dusty and looks like it hadn't been touched in years. There's cobwebs all over everything. And she starts singing Happy Birthday, Dear Jezebel. Yeah. That's creepy.
Oh, I was going to say, like Jezebel is like black and white, and then he basically has Tweety Bird on his shoulder, that little canary, and then...
Which just comes back into play slightly later.
Yeah, in a really gross way.
Jerry Orbach.
Yeah, he's got the same mustache.
he stole Chris Sarandon's mustache.
Oh my God.
And William Hickey's wig.
Yes. Oh, that confused me. Jerry Orbach... I mean, does he just have such, great hair that it looked like a wig?
Maybe. I don't know.
He has a full head of hair, but it did look very out of place, like something was up.
It's too in place to be real hair.
It's, snugged down too much. He needs to, kind of loosen it up a little bit. That was odd and distracting. And he's a real dick on the...
Well, she can't put a bottle of wine down properly.
That's true. And in his defense, she's fucking up his shoot.
Take 14.
In Rosemary's Baby, they were, feeding Mia Farrow different things and, making her drink blood and stuff, I think. But there's none of that in this one. She just passes out every once in a while.
Yep. She does pop some pills.
Oh, that's true. When she's watching the commercial or whatever. Yeah, I remember that now.
She pops some pills later when she's with Chris Sarandon and he has to leave, or she's by herself. She puts on a record and starts listening to some screaming violinist.
Yes.
So, but are we to believe that she has been psychotic for some times, and she saw it all of this is stemming from her seeing her dad in a sex scene.
Oh my God. Right? I mean, I feel for her. I feel like I need to work through some issues with that scene.
So here she's on the phone and she's talking to Chris Sarandon. She said she's got these little pills and they're supposed to help her sleep.
Oh, God.
She is taking pills. It makes me wonder about psychotic episodes that she may be happening. It does seem a little strange that she fits the criteria for becoming what she's going to become. I don't want to spoil anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows something's up. But so you're saying that maybe like she just fell into their lap? Like it wasn't all planned? Like they just happened to find the perfect person?
I don't know. That's what I didn't know if it was a setup from the beginning too.
I don't think the writers knew either.
Yeah. Did the doctor who gave her those pills, was he in on it? You know, you'd see more maybe modern movies that would try to take it a little bit further behind, you know, how it was set up, how they planned this, how she was, this was her fate, her destiny, right?
Well, then I forget that this is based on a book. I have a feeling that would answer a lot of the questions that we have. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but I'm already at that scene. So do you want to talk about it now or what do you think?
Let's do what timestamp?
Oh, around 23, 24.
So Allison comes home with groceries and she just happens to run into Beverly D'Angelo and Sylvia Miles.
Yeah.
As ballerina lesbian.
Yeah. They're wearing leotards, which I feel like if your normal wear is just a leotard,
you're from New York.
Yeah. That's a good way to get a yeast infection too, guys. I don't know. Oh my God. Beverly D'Angelo is really, I mean, her eyes are so big and blue.
She is selling it. And actually, I think I was reading some of the trivia that Michael Winner wishes that he would have used Beverly D'Angelo as the main character.
Yeah, that would have been very interesting. Just those eyes are so creepy.
Does she have any lines in the entire film?
I don't think she speaks.
Besides moans?
Yeah. And some like weird breathing or orgasm breathing.
I love how Allison, though, how Christina Raines just keeps trying to divert her eyes.
Yeah, she kind of giggles a little bit when she is like realizes what's happening.
You can get up and leave.
Yeah.
So Beverly D'Angelo's just masturbating pretty vigorously.
Yeah.
Right in front of her in the living room.
Through her leotard. Yeah. I don't know. Because this is such a weird scene. I mean, it doesn't really belong. I mean, other than just him throwing a bunch of weird images up on the screen, you know?
Right.
I mean, saying that there is a book, you know, maybe that's just something that Michael Winner and his sleaziness just wanted to keep in there. I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I'm going to read this book and get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, get to the bottom of that. Get back with us next week. You have 4 days to read this book.
Okay, I'm going to quickly read it until I get to the masturbation scene. And then I will read no more.
Is it shock value? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, sure, but...
Throw you off your game of like just visceral imagery.
Yeah.
This wasn't as flashy as we've seen other films to try to give you that uneasy feeling by using quick flashes. No, they set you in and made you watch her masturbate for a minute and a half.
Yeah, it was long. I didn't make eye contact with her, and I'm fucking, you know. Yeah, well, we did it.
Everybody in the building that she is seeing on the different floors that she has been complaining about as well.
Yes. Maybe not the best. I mean, yeah, she does have fun, but it's like all the creepy.
When Burgess Meredith blindfolds her and takes her in there, and then everybody's like clapping.
Yeah.
Beverly D'Angelo gives her this weird, like, how you doing wave.
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, see, it's you again.
Remember when I masturbated and you just watched me?
With this hand that I'm waving at you?
Yeah. She kind of like, I mean, I don't want to go back, but she kind of like sniffs her hands when she raises them up to her face.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's strange.
Tressa Hughes is an actress that is at the party. She's at Jezebel's birthday. She seems to be the only normal person. She's sitting right next to Jezebel. Okay. But I just clicked on her because she looked familiar. She kind of looks like the lady in Student Bodies that's like the English teacher or something.
I'm looking at her now. She was in Bad Medicine.
Oh my God. When are we doing that one? God, Tim, I have so many of those that I want to do. Like, I want to watch Volunteers. I want to watch fucking Whoopie Boys. Okay. She is in a TV movie called Daddy, I Don't Like It Like This.
No, I don't like any of that.
1978.
I see it.
Okay.
Written by Burt Young.
Oh my God. It is not what you think.
Written by Burt Young. It has to be exactly what I'm thinking.
Loathsomeness. No, it actually says a father tries to toughen his son by paying the neighborhood bullies to beat him up.
Okay.
So not exactly what we thought, thank God, but
Melanie Griffith?
Holy shit, this is
That's deep.
Way too deep. Terry Garr's in that? Oh my God. Okay. I'm clicking off of some of these. Anyway, sorry. So we're at Jezebel's, who is the little bald guy?
That kind of resembles, your favorite Nazi from Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's what I thought. When I saw him, I was like, oh, well, that guy's obviously like a Nazi sympathizer or something.
Well, they put it near the end of the film, too. I think there's a tube of blood that's just like squirting blood over his face that kind of resembles the scene where the Nazi's getting his face melted off.
You're right.
I think we know who stole from who.
That first blue-tinted dream that she has with everybody. Thank God Burgess Meredith has his clothes on. And Christopher Sarandon looks like Mr. Rourke from fucking Fantasy Island. And Beverly D'Angelo has cymbals that she's just clapping together.
While topless.
You want to talk about that?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, those were cymbals in her hands, yes. Yeah. She was making cymbals. That's not as funny as I thought.
I don't know, but she will go down in history as... And I guess it's also kind of shocking that she's so normal in the Christmas movies. I mean, she's sexy.
Yes.
Which, is it the first one that there's a little bit of a plot that revolves around her having naked pictures?
Well, she's in the bathroom taking a shower.
Oh, and he comes
through and does the banana thing.
Right.
You know, opening the shower curtain. So you get a flash of her there.
Forgot about that.
I guess if you put any character actor like Chris Sarandon in a office that has just bookshelves lined from floor to ceiling with big volumes, series of books, you say, okay, I believe he's a lawyer.
Yeah, you with no sound on, you'd be like, oh, well, he's a lawyer, obviously. Look at all that mahogany. I guess. I don't know. Lawyers like wood stuff.
So she's complaining about the noise to the lady. This is what was confusing because I really thought this landlady was in on it. Yeah. I still think she's
she had to. I mean, there was a little, like when she dropped the rent, I don't know if the music did something but there was, or like a lingering look, you know?
So Allison is talking to her about the people upstairs and the different people in the apartment and naming off these people. Yeah. She looks like she's playing that she doesn't know. Does that make sense?
She looks like she has, knowledge of whatever's going on.
Right. And withholding evidence or emotion.
And what we're talking about is the fact that she drops it on her that no one has lived above her for like 3 years, I guess.
The only people in this apartment building is the priest,
John Carradine,
in the window upstairs, and her.
Right. Which John Carradine just came with the building. You know what I mean? I feel like when he's done on a movie, like, all right, that's a wrap. Let's get John boxed up, and they just put him in like with like a bunch of packing peanuts, and they just ship him to another movie. That'd be hilarious if he had like a packing peanut or like one of those
bubble wrap.
Yeah, exactly. And they just kind of dust him off and prop him up.
Figure the silhouette of the priest in the window does kind of really resemble Psycho.
Oh yeah, he's even got his mom's hair, kind of.
Did it bother you when the priest comes in to talk to John Carradine? That he puts his hand on a statue that is just covered in cobwebs. Did that bother you?
It did. It did. I wanted to see where that hand went when he walked away. Is he going to dust that off, or
is he wiping it on the back of the old priest? What?
Yeah, that's what
it's good to see you, old pal. He's just
he does the thing where he like wipes the front and then the back of his hand, like he's got a booger or something. I don't know if we said that. Does John talk in this movie?
I don't know. I don't think so. They have him on a dolly, I think, at the end of the movie when
wheel him towards the camera.
Yes. That's exactly what happened.
He can't ambulate with his own free will anymore.
Do you think that they played well enough on the ghost story elements?
No. The only thing that you get besides those like dream sequences is the light fixture just kind of rocks back and forth.
Right. Which actually, happened right after she came out of her dream.
Yes, that's true.
Half of this film, she's running around in a nightie.
Yeah.
And I was gonna bring that up because that happens to be like one of those tropes that we see in films all the time, that women are just comfortable as can be, just their clothing barely hanging on them as they're trying to investigate a weird sound with a really, really bad flashlight.
Yeah, yeah. They're just vulnerable. They're not even she doesn't even have shoes on.
No.
So she wakes up from that weird nightmare and immediately grabs a giant knife and goes running up the stairs because they had just proven earlier in the day that those apartments are covered in cobwebs and haven't been lived in. So she saw that.
She's been in multiple apartments.
Yes.
With people.
Yes.
We learn here in just a little bit are convicts? Killers?
Yes. Yes. Convicted killers. Or at least Sylvia Miles. Yeah, she was like a convicted murderer or something, which, again, doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, it is intriguing that happens, but doesn't do anything for the plot.
I might disagree with you here in a little bit. We'll talk about it.
Now, it could be that I was watching it at 1.5 times speed and just missed something.
I think they were trying to set up that this is the portal to hell. She lives in an apartment building that is over the portal to hell.
Yeah.
Right. Is that it?
It is, but
why are these people inhabiting this complex like they can't
move on or something?
Yeah. Well, but are they open? Is she opening the gate? Oh, God, I'm getting too far into this. I'm sorry, guys.
I think we are thinking about it longer than Michael Winner did, probably. He just wanted to throw some gross stuff up on them.
There was say that when Chris Sarandon starts uncovering all of the truths, when they break into the Vatican or whatever to get information about this priest, is that all the tenants that were
previous tenants,
I guess, were ones that tried to commit suicide and are then perfect candidates to be,
I see,
put in this position as the governess or whatever of the portal to hell. I don't know.
Or they're just adding another person to their ranks somehow.
But everybody what was before John Carradine was the same thing, that there was, okay, this person went missing and immediately this priest or priestess showed up, or this Catholic nun showed up.
Right.
That they just kind of changed their names, and I it's very convoluted.
Yeah. Isn't that like a Catholic thing? Like if you commit suicide, you won't be let into heaven or something?
Right. And they pose that as, if you accept this position, or whatever, the gatekeeper, if you take the position of the gatekeeper, then your sins are absolved.
I see. So this movie is just a long job interview for her. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. 2-hour long interview. I've got questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 45 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
Where she's having one of her episodes. So she's going upstairs to investigate the noises that she's hearing, and grabs that big ass knife and goes up the stairs in her little nightie.
Yeah.
To then see, is this her dad?
Yes.
Running back and forth, that is riddled with cancer.
I guess.
Supposedly they mentioned that before when they were looking into her files, that her father had cancer.
I see. It looks like he's wearing like castaway shorts. You know, like they look like they were pants that have just been cut into shorts and then worn for years. She sees Jezebel eating the canary.
I totally missed that.
I know.
Yes, I wanted to talk about it for 20 to 30 minutes.
do canaries have normally a pint of blood in them? Because
no, it's raspberry jam.
Yeah, it was like Smuckers. But there was blood everywhere. It was almost like the cat had like used the bird's blood as like a dipping sauce and had just kind of rolled like a buffalo wing or something.
Yeah.
And just kind of rolled it in.
I got my special sauce. That's how I like my birdies.
Yep. Can I get an extra cup of bird blood?
The first time you see it, it's like totally coated in blood.
Completely.
The second time you see it, they were like, okay, we can't tell that it was a bird, so you got to show some of those yellow feathers.
Yeah. I don't want to get real gross, but the way it was kind of like tearing it apart, you know?
Oh.
I don't think a bird would come apart that easy. It was like it had like a marshmallow center or something. You know?
It was a peep.
A big peep.
But that cat is growling, but is obviously being pulled across the floor by its tail.
Yeah.
That is bothersome.
Yeah.
After she sees the cat, she's going up to investigate these noises and sees her father and the two people that he was having a foursome with the cake. Prostitutes,
secretaries.
Floozies.
Yeah, they're probably floozies. They look like floozies. Registered floozies.
She tries to escape and she knocks over a table in this living room that has razor blades all over the top of it.
Yeah, I saw that. And I thought, well, those are they're not props. They're just the director's razor blades for chopping it. Like, if you have to change razor blades because one is too dull from chopping up the cocaine from before, then slow down.
Don't you have a grip that can do that?
Yeah, exactly. Let Richard Dreyfuss do it or something.
So, back to the stabbing. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So she grabs the knife. Her dad jumps out and she stabs him. It looks pretty good.
Does it? Now, I know you're going to make fun of me because I have been speeding up the movie. Does that little scene look sped up somehow?
Maybe. Yeah.
Something wasn't right with how it obviously looked very awkward what they were trying to, like, okay, slice down his face, but then hold it like horizontally and scrape his nose off.
Straight down.
Yeah, that was a really weird. Yeah. But I think they just sped it up like slightly.
Maybe so, just to get the effect.
Mm-hmm.
So she cuts at his eye. And just kind of slices down. It said in the trivia that you could see like the tube on the hairline, but you're taken back from the eye being cut. They're just like, oh. And that seemed like it was trying to rip from other better Italian films.
For sure. I mean, I was getting the Beyond vibe from at least when Carradine and her dad show up. It said that I think Dick Smith did the special effects for this. I did not dig that far into it. There's not a lot of special effects, and they really didn't pay for the very end, which I was, we'll get to it, but like I saw that and I was like, okay, Tim, I see what you're doing here. It's a running theme.
So when Eli Wallach and Christopher Walken go to kind of interrogate Chris Sarandon
in the waiting room at the hospital.
Yeah, so our girl just has a psychotic break.
Yeah.
Where she says she killed somebody, but there's no body. They don't see any blood, except for what's on her, which they decide is the same type blood. Her blood is the same type of blood that was on her nightie.
Okay.
When she ran out of the building after knifing her father, and everybody comes to her aid as she just collapses in the road and starts screaming.
That would never happen in New York. People would step over her to get to where they're going.
They'll just be yelling out the windows, "Hey, keep it down. I'm trying to sleep up here."
Gotta love it.
Yep.
New York in the 70s. Ugh. Must have been a horrible place to live. After that little scene with Eli interrogating him, and also, so I was like, man, he's really saying some inappropriate things.
Yeah, he's trying to grill him because they have a background.
Yes.
A backstory that we didn't know until now.
I missed that. How many of his wives died in mysterious circumstances?
Eli Wallach is saying that Chris Sarandon, his wife, tried to commit suicide or killed herself. He said, quote unquote, like killed herself by jumping off the 59th Street Bridge.
Right. And then he goes, which like that she didn't, she splashed, you would think.
Yeah. So that's another thing that makes me think that Chris Sarandon may be
in on something,
also connected to this, because they need somebody who has tried and failed to commit suicide. I don't know why they deem this as the offense that is going to be, going to be relieved from your sins if you do this, if you take over as being the gatekeeper.
I didn't get any of that story. I mean, is this all in the last 20 minutes of the movie where they give you some type of plot?
I think they try, but that, like I said, that doesn't evolve with Chris Sarandon, but it makes you think that he might have been trying to be involved by creating this person that has committed suicide.
But then it ultimately doesn't go anywhere.
Right. Eli Wallach says it too, that it's really suspicious that his new girlfriend or mistress that I believe he was trying to say that he had before his wife committed suicide had also had suicidal tendencies.
Oh my God. Just think if I had watched that 4 minutes of film, the whole movie would make more sense, but I just kind of glossed right over it.
1.5 speed. Yep. But it doesn't go anywhere.
No.
And ultimately, Chris Sarandon loses his life at the end of the movie, too.
Yeah. You can take my life, but you can't take my mustache. You have to pry my mustache out of my cold, dead fingers.
That was his final line.
He loved that mustache. His mother.
Had to bury his mustache in his own special shrine.
In a separate casket. Oh my God. That would be hilarious. Okay, now this is kind of confusing because there was a scene earlier with a guy. Oh, I can't think of his name. He's in a MST. He's in an MST called A Touch of Satan.
Okay.
His name is Hank Garrett, and he really excels at his face being pasty and kind of moist. He was the bartender in Amityville Horror. Anyway, you see him get out of a car or something and look up at John Carradine, kind of reminiscent of The Exorcist. A big black car pulls up and then a priest gets out and looks up at John Carradine, but I think that's it. And then when that scene ends at the hospital, Eli Wallach and Christopher Walken are going to investigate this scene, the wrecked car.
Right. Well, it's like a junkyard.
Okay.
So the car wasn't necessarily wrecked, but it has a guy. Who is this guy in the car that is dead, who has been killed, reminiscent of her thinking that she killed her dad?
Right.
That's really what it is.
Okay. That confused me. For a second, I thought that guy was the same actor that was... It looks like the guy that got out of the car earlier. Man, I don't know. Okay, so it's Eli Wallach, Christopher Walken, and another cop. If you compare Eli Wallach's tie to the guy in blue, his tie, it's like small, medium, and large. He's wearing a small tie.
Okay.
Christopher Walken has the medium, and then Eli Wallach, like the base of the tie, like at its widest point, is like for real, like 11 inches wide. It is huge. Huge.
I didn't notice it till you had to point it out. That is, man. If the sharp wind will carry him away.
Yes, go up like
with
a kite.
That tie.
Yes. Just 70s.
And inside of Chris Sarandon's apartment here, or her apartment, I don't know where this is 2 posters on the wall that says Britain.
Yes.
Foreign, but familiar.
That is so weird. Do you think that... I think sometimes when they show like travel stuff, that they're like, this room looks too boring. Let's just pin some shit up to the walls, because wherever they are, that's not the precinct. They just walked into somewhere. But there's just a bunch of random stuff on the walls, They're like, This wall just looks boring. Go get some, go get some free posters.
I need you to explain it, though, because...
Hey, I don't know.
This doesn't go anywhere, right? They found a body that has similar wounds
to what she described.
And they match the blood to her. It's the same type of blood that was on her shirt that this guy had, Right. But does that go anywhere?
No.
I mean...
Does Eli Wallach even figure into...
He's just a cop trying to prove something, but it's not... I don't think he gets to the bottom of anything. He's just here for exposition.
Right.
And Christopher Walken has one line in the entire movie, I think. So.
Yeah, I haven't heard him talk yet. He's just chewing gum. I think what my brain is not wanting to cope with is that the big reveal, the big like Shyamalan moment, should have been when she found out that no one was living above her. So she finds that out at like 45 minutes into the movie. I just think it could have played out a little bit longer, and it would be shocking when she finds out that they're dead, but I don't know. I feel like they just took all the tension out of it.
I get you. That's like, revealing... They could have played more on the ghost story aspect
for sure.
Of this building.
That's it.
And her figuring out that the other tenants are dead, sets up for the ghostly hauntings that we never get.
Right.
Until the very end.
I think we're thinking more about it than the filmmakers. It really bogs down here at the, before it really picks up in the last 20 minutes. Can you tell me why he is talking to Martin Balsam? The priest wrote down some Latin stuff for him or something?
Okay, so Allison is having another seemingly mental break.
She's popping those pills like Tic Tacs.
Yeah. And she starts talking to Chris Sarandon about the books on the wall, that all the books are filled with the same information. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she goes, it's just gibberish. It's gibberish. And she throws the book down, and he looks at it and opens it up. And she says the pages, every page is the same, has the same information. It's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Puts the book down and asks her to write down what she saw in the book.
Okay.
And she starts writing in Latin.
Right. It looks like a ipsum lorem or something. It's just like one of those placeholder.
So she starts writing this down, and so he has it translated.
Right. He goes to the diocese.
Still doesn't make any sense.
Right. And for some reason, it's the guy that was with Jose Ferrer at the very beginning, and then he just checked up on Bag of Bones John Carradine.
And all of this convoluted plot thing is how that Chris Sarandon just uncovers the previous gatekeepers to the portal of hell. And you would think that if like this priest was a normal person until he became the gatekeeper, and then he just becomes this mummified, skeleton of a man.
Oh, yeah. Turns into John Carradine.
Is it because taking on this position as the gatekeeper ages you substantially?
I don't
because
know.
At the end, when she takes over the position as being the gatekeeper, she is also just a pale, frail, white-eyed nun.
That job doesn't have a lot of perks.
You can let different people, come up from the gates of hell and come talk to you and hang out. And
I guess that's
have
true.
a good time. Yeah. So that doesn't make any sense. But
No.
This portion of the film is Chris Sarandon trying to get to that conclusion.
Right. Which, again, would work better if, like Rosemary's Baby, there is, some question of whether he is in on the big thing, you know? This really kills all of that.
All that speculation that we just made earlier.
Exactly. Throws that right in the toilet. I like thinking that he might be like kind of orchestrating some of this, but oh well.
In the end, somehow he's sent to hell.
Yeah.
We have a scene later that he's basically killed in the house and he's unable to leave, correct?
I unclear. I don't know. I just made it to the scene with William Hickey.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he stole his grandma's dentures and just put them into his mouth. That is
I think that is his real
I think it's all real.
It's all real.
When they go to the archdiocese or whatever, for a second when he comes in and unlocks that main door, his toupee is so it's like red, and then the hair underneath that he still has is jet black. It's just wild. Oh my God. And the camera gets so close to his face when he's listening to that padlock. That's a really cool padlock, though.
The door to her apartment is really... They have some awesome doors in this house. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems really strange to have a sliding door as the main entrance to your apartment.
Maybe between your kitchen and your living room or something, but...
Maybe his kind of believable as this Weasley... shady locksmith.
That is the perfect role for him.
In the files of the archdiocese, that's where Chris Sarandon has all the information.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the exposition of this person went missing, had previously tried to commit suicide, and has now become. They have side-by-side photos of this
very
is the person
helpful. Is he doing a book report or something? Should just have it on a big poster board with... That's hilarious to me. The Vatican is like secret about everything, and yet they have this book that's basically like a scrapbook of the gates of hell. That's silly.
I like it even when they go back further in time and there's actually just hand-drawn sketches.
Right, exactly.
Of the people that did this before. This is what he looked like before, which was hand-drawn, and the new photo is still hand-drawn.
Wow. That is not flattering. And then they have a picture of her with just a blank spot next to it.
Yep. That just says new candidate hires.
Exactly. And someone has like drawn horns on her head with a Sharpie or something. It's really dumb. Yeah. And the camera like presses in on Chris Sarandon and he's like, I think I just figured it out.
I cracked it.
He's got his like cat burglar suit on and everything. And who is that? Is that like a live-in? Is that her model friend? Or there's some girl sleeping on his couch.
Yes and yes. I don't know exactly what her deal is.
I think she's just like, since Allison can't fucking walk 10 steps without falling down, they had to hire somebody to keep her upright.
We're coming up to the end of the film.
Yeah.
Chris Sarandon's trying to figure this out because he found out that there was a date that was listed in the files of when new hire Allison was going to become the gatekeeper.
Right.
There was an actual start date that
That is hilarious. Like she has to clock in or something.
He's thinking that she is going to be killed and thus taking on the new role as this white-skinned nun.
Yeah. He's like, this is really going to put a cramp in our...
Yeah, and it's like, this is going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
We've got to do something now.
Gotta have sex one last time.
But then sends her to a party. This is what you need.
She looks like a succubus has been like feasting on her. She has no blood in her face.
Dark, sunken in eyes.
You want to go to a party where there's more birds? Seeing as how you're fucking traumatized by birds?
So at the same time, we go back to Eli Wallach.
Yeah. What's he doing?
He now has all of the suspect cards of everybody that Allison has named that she saw in the apartment because Allison, I guess, kept detailed notes on first and last names of everybody that was
and
a ghost in her apartment complex.
Where did he find that? Is it just on file at the police? I guess.
Oh yeah,
I guess that
they're in my I used to hang out with these girls files.
It's my spank bank. Gross, Eli. Eli.
So Chris Sarandon is just trying to uncover everything,
I guess.
So he decides to send her to that party.
Oh, so that he can I got to get her out of my hair so I can snoop more with my shitty flashlight.
And a gun. He's got a snub-nosed pistol.
That flashlight, it would put out more light if you got a mirror and tried to reflect light from the other building or something. Did William Hickey just give him a ton of lock picking?
He's got skeleton keys.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
He's got a ton of keys. Somehow he's figured out there's a hidden message behind a panel of wood by the mailboxes in this apartment complex. I didn't understand where that was going or why that was even happening.
I absolutely don't know. Why is it right there by the mailbox? Okay. And it's got a quote from...
They keep going back to Dante's Inferno.
Right.
Is this part of that same type of thing?
Yes, I thought it was a Bible quote, but it's the abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Yeah, it's from Inferno.
Okay. Somehow, when she passed out at the party, they put her in bed and they call the doctor or whatever, and there are people everywhere in this apartment, wherever this party is being held, and she sneaks out just to walk all the way home to her creepy ass haunted apartment.
Yeah, she must have fallen down 30 times on her way back to her apartment.
How she safely traversed those stairs.
Good Samaritan drove her the last mile or something. She and walking do not have a good track record.
So she's going home just to see that Chris Sarandon has gone up to see the old priest and wants to get information out of him and chokes him to death.
Oh my God, that was hilarious because the first shake, also somebody's spraying water onto his face. He's kind of sweaty through the last third of this movie.
Yeah.
But that first shake that he gives John Carradine, I was like, ooh, that is John Carradine. And one more pound of pressure and you would have just snapped his head off. He is a bag of sticks at this point. And they put so much old age, flour in his hair.
It's supposed to be that he's been sitting there long enough that he's collected dust and cobwebs on his person.
Yeah. Chris Sarandon should just be just kind of blow a little bit of it off of there.
They fall over on the ground and he's still choking him.
Oh my God.
But are we to believe that, was it another priest that showed up that grabbed that statue to hit Chris Sarandon over the head and subsequently kill him?
Man, I don't know.
But somebody kills Chris Sarandon right there.
Yes. I guess you're right. If it was anyone, or Burgess Meredith, I guess, because he's up there sneaking around too.
But, I mean, he's also a ghost.
No, that's true. Would he be able to? I see what you're saying. Yeah, it probably was that other priest. With, like, Mickey Mouse ears on. They're wearing those weird hats, and every time they, like, turn a certain way, it looks like they're wearing Mickey Mouse ears. Yep, so she's covered in blood. Where did the blood come from? I forget.
With the blood that kind of rained down on her?
Yeah.
When she got into the apartment complex is right when Chris Sarandon was killed.
Okay.
And she starts getting drips of blood on her, and she finds the cufflink that she gave to him earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be kind of the another Shyamalan twist thing, is that since Chris Sarandon is dead, while he's giving this big explanation of what's going on.
Right.
He does have a big flesh wound on his face.
Yeah, that is not great. You know what I mean? It's pretty generic, and also when those scars appear on his face, never has, like, fishing line been so obvious. It is, even after they rip it away, it's still on there. It's really bad.
I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, but you can see the strings.
Yeah. I wonder sometimes, like, maybe some of these movies aren't intended to be remastered, or, you know, they're counting on the fact that you're watching this on an old tube TV.
I think you're right. So basically, they're telling her at this end that you are the gatekeeper.
Yeah, you need to find the keymaster.
Unless you kill yourself.
Are they tricking her?
Burgess Meredith is trying to get her to kill herself before the end of the day or whatever. They're running out of time. You got to kill yourself now in order to release them from their prison, to allow the gates of hell to be open. And
I don't think I paid that much attention. Although Burgess Meredith is really, like, hamming it up in this last part. Yeah. He looks like he's having fun.
Well, and this is not a lot of makeup. These people that are in this are actual...
Well, they're from, we're not going to say the F word, but they are from a... now, I'm not making this up. I think I saw that they actually were, like, some circus performers.
Right.
I could be wrong, but they do all have abnormalities. Physical abnormalities.
Which are jarring.
Yes. You know, it's kind of like the little people thing. I mean, sure, it's like they're being exploited, but then again, they, you know, this is their livelihood sometimes, so.
I gave them a few bucks.
Yeah, I have no idea where these people fall into that thing, but it does do what it's meant to shock you, you know, so I guess it's either meant to shock you, or Michael Winter's just a cheapskate, and this was way less expensive than makeup. Yeah, and all you have to do is just be morally and ethically loose with all of that stuff.
Why did he have to have... They're not demons.
I don't know. Zombies?
Maybe since it's supposed to be the portal to hell that...
Certain time of night, around the gates of hell, it's okay to just kind of wander around. Just don't get caught.
Lots of boobs near the end here.
Sure.
Lots of nudity.
I like that Beverly D'Angelo. I like her makeup in this because...
Well, so she's eating Chris Sarandon's brains?
I don't know. They were eating something. Was that Chris Sarandon that they were munching on?
I think that's Chris Sarandon laying there, yeah. Because it was near the railing, which that would have been dripping the blood onto her.
Gotcha.
From below.
Right.
Burgess Meredith just confronting her, telling her she must destroy herself, kill herself, to be with them. And saying, well, hey, look, your boyfriend's here. Be with him too. Yeah. He's dead. You're good.
Yeah. Burgess Meredith's like, it could be Jezebel's birthday every day. Every day.
Don't you like my kitty?
He was really good in this.
But when they reveal Chris Sarandon as being in the pack of with these demons,
with the cat,
he's petting the cat. He kind of looks like
evilly,
like almost a Mr. Rourke
like
or something.
a Bond villain or something.
Hi there. Mm.
Oh my God, Burgess Meredith turns out is a fucking trick shot with the throwing daggers
with the knife.
Yeah, right.
I laughed so hard.
He's like, all right, and just like right in his neck.
Right in his neck.
A lot of these people, and I know why you picked this movie.
Boobs.
A lot of these people at the very end are just like looking right down the barrel of the camera. Like you can tell that they weren't even like given any direction. Just like go walk in there. Yeah. So I guess they did it. I mean, everything worked.
Yeah. They got the old priest to transfer the duties.
Yep.
This was on the job initiation. Is that what this was?
Yeah, maybe.
Her first day of work as the gatekeeper,
right.
You know?
They're like pranking her at this point.
I did like this kind of fading the ghosts back into the wall.
Yeah, that was cool. There's like slightly less and then they're gone.
It's a neat, cheap effect. Yeah. That blade did just jiggle.
Oh my God.
Just
yes.
got him in the neck.
Oh boy.
That just sets us up for the next victims.
Yeah.
It shows them demolishing this building, but then building another building on top of it. So it's not necessarily the building that is the gate to the hell. There's actual...
No, it literally is
in the foundation.
Right. It's in the basement.
To build a satanic
like
building, you have to have a good portal to hell as your foundation.
Yeah, it helps.
I mean, it's real important.
Easy to get to, like plumbing and stuff like that, if it's like that, you know. But it'll flood on you, or at least you'll have a little bit of standing water. But other than that, and like howls of the damned too. You might hear those.
The exterior of this building being the new building that she's now trying to pimp out.
Yeah.
That was faked, by the way.
Okay.
The real building, as I read in the trivia, the real building still exists.
Okay.
The landlord's showing around the new tenants, which just happens to be...
Yep, Tom Berenger. Very young Tom Berenger.
Who is looking like he really needs a mustache at this point.
Yeah, he's like insecure about his naked upper lip with all these other mustaches parading around. Are we done with the movie?
We are done with the movie. We finished with the movie.
It closes in on her wearing a nun's habit, and now her face is like desiccated, and she's got... Do you think John Carradine just popped his contacts out and just put them in her head?
Just licked them off.
Yeah.
And said, hold tight. I got you.
Out of the whole movie, I mean, at least there's that. You know, she does look super creepy at the very end.
This new position is wearing on her really quickly, though.
Yep. I feel aged.
So the Latin words written down by Allison, which say tibi, sortu, cursus, whatever,
Perfect.
are supposed to be from John Milton's Paradise Lost.
Okay.
The literal translation is watching your office and running.
Okay.
Think they chose the wrong passage.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like Latin curse words. It just says pee pee, poo poo, boobies in Latin.
I think I wrote down here my notes, has one of the longest openings ever. And I wanted to share my disdain for movies in the 70s that felt like they needed to play the entire song of an opening before the movie could start. Oh,
man. We're spoiled now.
Yes. But this one wasn't even, it wasn't a real song, you know, it's just background music. It just goes on and on and on.
Just your standard 70s movie music. So I think this movie might have been a flop when it came out, or it just didn't make a lot of money.
It says here that it made $3 million, which back in, I don't know, you know, you think about what does that mean in today's movies? I don't know. So anyway, for movies that we hold high in regards of this satanic ritual, creepy.
There could have been more Satan in it for me.
Could have been more Satan?
Oh, yeah.
Could have been more ghosts?
Take your Ernest Borgnine or your George Kennedys. Put them in a robe. Have them do the horns with their fingers. And, I mean, how hard is that? Just make it slightly more evil or more satanic.
Yeah.
For my money,
I'm with you.
It just seems like they dropped the ball on that.
So you were excited about watching this movie. Are you disappointed now that we've uncovered?
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing.
On a rewatch, it just promises so much and then really just gives so little at the end. I don't know. It's one of those things where I just would rather watch Rosemary's Baby, the better one, or The Omen, that's pretty far down the list on satanic movies. Man, when are we going to do like a Satan doubleheader kind of?
Well, I thought this was kind of get us into that area.
Yeah.
It does say here that it did make $4 million at the box office, according to Wikipedia.
I mean, it obviously didn't take much to make. There's only a handful of, special effects, and then they just hired people with odd deformities to come on, so pretty smart, really. Except you needed to tell them, hey, there's going to be a camera about 2 feet in front of you. Don't look directly at the lens while it's coming by.
So it says here the initial reception for the movie was very poor. That a lot of people just dogged this movie as, here's one, in Variety, it was listed as a grubby, grotesque excursion into the religioso, psychodrama, and notably poor performances by a large cast of familiar names.
I mean, they're using like 70s terms for everything, but that's pretty much it. But, Burgess Meredith, Eli Wallach, those guys are always fun to watch.
Anyway, all right. That was a Sentinel. That's about all I got. You got anything else to add, Jason?
I'm done.
All right. Well,
with it.
Let's turn this bitch out.
Okay, Tim, that means something very different. I think so.
I'm whoring this podcast out to you, our listeners.
We'll talk about it off mic, but I got to tell you some stuff.
Since we are turning this out to you for free, if you feel like you really want to make this a relationship, what am I trying to say here? If you want me to really feel like a whore, you can give to our Patreon. And for as little as $1 a month, you can make me feel like a cheap whore.
I don't know. Again, right after this is over, we're having a major conversation. I didn't sign up for any of that.
You didn't sign up for the whoring?
Nope.
If you want to give us $3 a month, I'll start giving you some more goodies, though. $3 a month on our Patreon will get you the director's cuts to our movie episodes. We just released a few weeks ago Phantasm 2 in the director's cut form just for you. So you can check it out and see what you're missing. Is probably 45 minutes of extra added crap that nobody wants to listen to.
What do we even have to talk about for that long?
Oh, it's unfreaking believable. But tune into our director's cuts. If you want to hear more, just give us $3 a month. You can hear all of our director's cuts in our movies. Jason, tell them where they can find us.
We're at themoratorium.com. You dum-dums.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Easy
Cut that
as that. It's just insult everybody. You're whores. Huh? You're all of you.
I think that out of all of our podcasts, this one is the one where you have said whore more than any of the other ones.
That is surprising.
Yeah, I wouldn't have figured that.
Also, check us out on social media. We're on the Facebook, the Twitters, the Instagram. Facebook group is still growing if you want to get in a part of that. Again, I am whoring myself out to you.
Gosh. I don't like that.
You don't like it? I'm going to keep saying it now.
Yep.
All right, Jason, you got anything else to add?
Nope. See you later, you whores. Yeah.
That was going to be on my gravestone. Is see you later, whores.
The more I say it, the more I like it. Let's turn this off.
All right. Say goodnight, Podcat.
All right.
Whoa. Whoring out your cat now.
Yep. Ew.
He's in the heat? Is that possible?
He got to watch The Sentinel with me, so that bird death really turned him on.
All right, guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Moratorium, an MT Cornfield production. Tune in next week when Jason and I talk about Ellen Griswold masturbating for 2 hours. And then we forget why we started a podcast. If you have any movie suggestions, or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
That was odd and distracting.